pretty much go. Okay, welcome to another episode of Poppa Talks. Today we have a special guest.
I wouldn't say special.
Yeah,
but...
special to me.
All right.
Mr. Shawn Carlson.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Welcome. I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Trying a little something different.
All right. I dig it.
Never know. I hope you can see yourself good in there.
I got you.
So, anyway, let's jump right into it.
All right.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Centerville, Maryland.
Centerville.
So, yeah, it's a little small town. So
I built a courthouse there.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Back in the 80s.
Really?
Yeah.
The district courthouse.
It used to be old school.
Yeah.
Elementary school.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's small freaking world, man.
I was young back then.
Yeah, no, I grew up in Centerville.
Wow.
Yeah, I was born and raised.
Town.
Yeah, it's not bad.
They get ready to have the Canna Fest there.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. So I've seen you now for about probably 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
So you've come a long way, but tell me how you got your interest in wrestling, professional wrestling.
Okay. So when I was a kid, man, I come from a really abusive house. So my father was an abuser. My mother was a person that was abused. So she was always scared of my father as well. So it was like, like men in my house they were these strong assholes. Like, I don't know if I can cuss on here, but yeah. So in general, they were heels, if you think about it. And I started watching TV late at night one night when my mom let me stay up, and I got to see Stone Cold Steve Austin for the first time, and he was jacking his jaw to The Rock, and he was throwing an Intercontinental title over the bridge, and I was like, man, this anti-authority figure is amazing, and that's what hooked me, and I've been a fan ever since.
Wow, so Stone Cold your favorite wrestler?
No, Shawn Michaels is.
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but as soon as it was like Stone Cold, and then it went right to Shawn Michaels.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, he was a lot of people's favorites.
Yeah, I think it was because we had the same name, so I gravitated to him.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mine was the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, okay. That's different. I've never heard anybody say that Ultimate Warrior was their favorite wrestler.
I just love the hair and the muscles and
the running.
Yeah,
I guess that's a pretty crazy gimmick if you really think about it.
I love Tyler does his little run back and forth sometimes.
Yeah,
I love that.
All right, tell him to start doing it more.
Yeah.
I
mean, I love it.
Yeah,
I don't tell him anything. So.
Ty, listen to your father.
Yeah, right. So I already know the answer, but for those watching, how did you get your start, and really, what was your start in professional wrestling?
Yeah, my start was podcasting.
That's right.
That's crazy enough. Yeah, I started off doing podcasts. I just seen at that time there wasn't like anybody doing it in this area, and I had been to a few shows, and I was like, man, there's something here that you could really strike onto, and I think get a good audience. And so I started running the podcast, and I think it did fairly well.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I hated when you stopped. Man.
Yeah. Some personal shit happened, so I just stopped. But yeah, no, that's how I got started, and I actually loved it. Like I've teased like going back to it and like trying to do it again, but just every time I go back to start.
You're so busy. Dude.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, when am I gonna have time to do it and edit it and everything else?
So talk a little bit how you transitioned from podcasting to.
Yeah. So basically, I started podcasting, and I had an interview with a guy who was starting a company, and when I talked to him, he had these like stupid ideas, like stupid. I'm talking like he was paying some guys like $200, and I was like, yo, bro, listen, you don't know what you're doing, and you are going to get ate up in this business real quick. You're going to run one show and then be done. So you can't do it like that. And he was like, oh, well, can you help me? And I was like, yeah, I got you. And so I started helping him right there, run shows and showing what a real budget was for shows and stuff. And then that just kept going, and then he didn't pay his taxes. So that company closed down shortly after. And then I had taken a mental break because I was going through a lot of personal stuff. And I was about to sell the wrestling ring, and Hardy hit me up and was like, hey, man, come on board. And then in a conversation me and Hardy were having, he was like, I think you would do really well as a manager, and you should try to start doing that. So I did a little bit of training and jumped in managing, and that took off. And then during COVID, the local wrestling school shut down, and so I've always tried to fill voids in wrestling, and that's just what I've tried to do, is when I see a void, I try to fill it. Right. And I was like, you know what? I can put it up in my house. That way, if COVID does come back, because at the time we didn't know what COVID was doing. So if COVID does come back strong and they shut the world down again, they can't shut me down because it's on my personal property. So worst case scenario, I just say it's a personal thing. Like you can't stop that. So I was bound and determined to do this. And, the school's got a few students, and we're rocking and rolling, man. And Mark Harrow's the head trainer. And so I started training because my whole thing with the school was, if I'm going to have a school, and I'm going to be an owner of it, I need to go through the system and prove to everybody else that I can go through it just as much as anybody. So when somebody comes in and says, oh, hey, I don't know if I can do this. Well, I did it.
Right.
So you can do it.
Right.
And so that's why I went back into training. Now I'm wrestling. So
plus, still with you involved behind the scenes and wanting to get in the ring, you really needed the training.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And plus, especially being you had to really solidify yourself.
Yeah.
Probably do a little bit more.
I think that's for everybody. So like even still, I'm like doing tryouts and stuff just to see where I measure up.
Sure.
And people still, I shouldn't say they don't, because they might behind the scenes, but people will not give me my respect to my face that I feel other people get that have done it a lot less than me and stuff, because I'm always that guy that just does, like, they feel I'm the guy that's bought into stuff, or I've done this or not. And I wish somebody would see the work I've put into the wrestling business that says that, because the work I've put in is like, I joke around when somebody told me one time, I won't mention names because he's irrelevant to me, but he told me that I will never have paid my dues like others have. And I laughed, and I was like, you serious, dude? I've lost more money on shows. I've put more talent in tryouts. I've lost more money in wrestling than a lot of other people. So don't tell me I haven't paid dues in this business. I've paid a lot more dues than a lot of other people. But, you can't impress everybody. So I just shoot for what I feel is best for the business and helping people that deserve the help. So that's my goal, man.
Yeah, that's cool. I see that you give a lot back.
Yeah, man.
Plus, you're busy. God, you're everywhere.
I am.
I don't know how you do it. You're fairly newly married.
Yep.
New kids.
Yep.
Wow.
And make time for the daughter, make time for the wife.
Work.
Yeah.
I know you work a lot.
I work too much.
So let's just take a little break and let's look at some of the Shawn stuff.
Yeah.
So I always ask everybody about the training and seminars. I'm a big seminar guy, so I like to know different seminars. I know you have a training school now.
Yeah.
But have you done any seminars?
Yeah, I just did one with it was supposed to be with Rhett Titus, but he didn't show up, and I just did one. It was all right, but I've ran a Elijah Burke one. I ran a cheeseburger. I ran a Bob Evans one. So there's stuff I've run.
Cool. Yeah, they're so important, and I think they should be on resumes, really.
Yeah, I do too. The only thing I don't like about seminars is some talents say that now they're trained by that person,
right?
And you're not trained by that person.
Right.
You took a 2-hour class with that guy,
right?
And I think that's a big difference. Like some people will say, "Oh, I was trained by this guy." No, you learned to lock up already. Like don't say that. So
absolutely. So besides 1CW, what other promotions have you worked at?
So I just wrestled at Atlantic All-Star Wrestling last weekend, and I've got a few promotions coming up, but I don't like saying like I'm there yet because I'm not there yet.
Right.
But I've got some few promotions coming up. I think I'm going to surprise some people by wrestling at, so that's pretty cool. But at the end of the day, 1CW is still my baby, and so
it's the hottest thing in Delaware.
Yeah,
so.
not only Delaware, man. Like we're growing. I see other companies in other states that are close starting to take shots at us. Right. So I'm kind of laughing a little bit. Like I seen a post the other day from a big company. I should use air quotes, a big company, and they were taking a shot directly at us. So,
wow. Well, that's good.
So you're doing good when other companies start shooting at you. So
absolutely.
Miss me with the bullets, boys.
Yeah, and from what I see, I've been around to a lot of different promotions over the years, and you guys are right there with the top on how things are run, timing. I mean, that means everything. You know? So you guys are doing well.
It's crazy if you think about it. We do 13 matches. And it's crazy to think that we run those 13 matches at the same time some people run 8 matches.
Right.
Because we have no lag, we have no hold up. We run. And we have guys that are, literally pumping this out, and music guys are on it, everybody's on it. So there's a lot of guys who have no idea what they're doing and they still run. That's great. I mean, I'm not knocking that, cuz go ahead. But when it takes you 3.5 hours to run an 8-match show, and I can do that in 13 matches, like, let's go.
Well, the thing that I see being out here is when there's a pause, whether it's a pause in music, whether you're waiting, 3 seconds is a long time. Silence, So to keep the crowd into it and the flow, you got to keep it going.
TV, like we do TV now, as you know, and
What channel is that on? Or
so it's on the Delmarva Sports Network. So that's pretty cool because we have a local TV deal, and that's all we do, man. We do local. We donate to local charities. We donate local. So that was our main goal, was to get with somebody local. You can reach it anywhere at delmarvasportsnetwork.com. So that's dope. But we wanted to give local because eyes on that product gets more money. So when people watch that channel, right, the channel ratings go up. So that means more sponsors want to come into that channel. Well, 75% of their things are high school sports. Right. So now we're getting eyes on these high school sports. Let's say you're watching 1CW and it clicks over to a basketball game afterward and you just hang on. You know what I mean? Now that basketball, if they're getting numbers for you, just waiting on, that basketball can now go get a sponsor, maybe get new jerseys and stuff like that. So we are trying to help the community in that fact. And that's a big thing for us, is to continually try to help the community. So that's why we partnered with Delmarva Sports Network. And we haven't even put our stuff on Fight yet because we want to make sure Delmarva Sports Network gets a good run, because they have a watch anytime feature online. So that's a big thing for us.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let me ask you, who would you like to work? You got anybody? I mean, everybody has a list, but I mean, just some like maybe near future guy.
Yeah. So your son, I want to punch him in the mouth.
Good.
I want to punch him so hard in the mouth. I want to work my trainer, even though we're tag team right now, Mark Harr. I want to work him. Mr. Grimm, I had one match against him. I won it again. That's a big one. But other than that, I really want to work younger guys. And like when I say that, I feel like here and definitely in 1CW, I have a good following, that I'm one of the top baby faces. And I want to give back to the younger guys coming up. So if I can work with them and put them over in a match and make them look good, that's what I want to do.
Cool. So that's great. Always giving back.
Yeah, man.
Give me like a funny road story or something that's happened along the way.
So I have one that I use all the time, just because it's the craziest thing that's ever happened to me. So I used to take Benji, my dog, with me. And he was a Chihuahua, and he lived in a bag. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but he lived in a book bag. And so we're driving to Florida, and we get halfway there, and he shits in the bag. We're like 20 minutes from the venue. I shouldn't even say halfway there. We're 20 minutes from the venue, and he shits in the bag. And so like I pull him out and clean him up, and I throw him back in the bag. I threw half the bag out, and I clean him up. And so we get to the show, and I still talk to Elijah Burke. And so I had my book bag on, and I reach over to talk to him, and I knock over Vicky Guerrero's cup with all of her pins in it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. So sorry. And she's like, oh, no problem. What's in the bag? And I was like, oh, it's my dog. He has anxiety and can't be left alone. And she goes, oh my God, pull him out and let me see him. And Miles and Grimm are with me. And as soon as I pull his dog out, Miles and Grimm like ninja poof on me. They're gone. And I'm standing there with Vicky Guerrero, and she's kissing all on this dog that just 10 minutes ago was covered in shit.
Oh my God.
So she's, and like the whole time I'm like, oh, I hope she doesn't find any. Luckily, I'd clean them up really good with baby wipes, but that's the funniest story. So.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
Yeah.
So, a couple more questions.
Yeah, man.
What, you're so busy. You're a professional businessman.
Yeah.
You're a professional wrestler, owner.
Yep.
Husband, father.
I am.
How do you stay motivated? What keeps you?
So, as dumb as this is going to sound, I wake up and I'm just like, man, I've got to do this for my daughter. I got to do this for my wife. I grew up, and like I said earlier, I didn't have a good relationship with my father, and I didn't have good, role models. Now, my dad was a worker. Like, I'm not going to say he wasn't. My dad was a worker, but he gambled all of his money away, drank all of his money away, drugged all of his money away. So we never owned a house growing up. We rented houses, like stuff like that. And stuff like that stuck with me, that I didn't want to be that. You know what I mean? So that's motivated me more than anything. So like for a few years before my dad passed, I hated my father, right? Hated him. And then it took him dying for me to realize I don't hate him as much as I thought I did. If that makes sense?
Yeah.
But when I now think about it, yeah, I don't hate him, because he has put this into me that I need to be better than he ever was, right? I need to be there for my daughter. I need to be the husband he never was to my mother. I need to, work hard enough to buy that house. I need to have things so my daughter doesn't have to struggle like I've had to struggle my whole life. When it comes to wrestling, this is, before I met my wife and had my daughter, these were my kids. So like there are guys that I work with that are just the same age as me, but I look at them as my kids, you know what I mean? And I'm giving them a platform to succeed on. I'm giving them something to succeed on. I could stop wrestling tomorrow and I wouldn't stop 1CW. I would continue to let this grow. The wrestling part for me is just to have fun, because I think you need to have fun doing this.
Sure.
It burns you out if you don't.
To, yeah.
Right. But I wouldn't quit if I stopped wrestling tomorrow. This isn't for me. This is for other people. Like, a lot of people will say, oh, well, you know, I know you do this for yourself and this, that, and the third. I don't. I really don't. I could quit wrestling tomorrow and not care.
Right.
It's for everybody else.
No, I get it.
It's for the other people.
Same with my videos.
Yeah. Like, you don't need to do this. No. This is for you to help others.
Right.
It's to get their story out. And people don't see that, man. Like, there's so many people. This business is so jaded. There's so many people that think that you're only in this for yourself. It's mind-blowing, dude.
And there are some that are.
Yeah. Oh, 100% there are guys in it for themselves. But that's one bad apple spoils the bunch. Right. There are some promoters that, yes, they put on shows just to wrestle because they don't get booked anywhere else. Like I said, I could quit wrestling tomorrow. I could quit running shows tomorrow. Either one wouldn't bother me. Well, quitting running shows would bother me because I think I'd take a big part of wrestling out of this area. Right. And I don't want to do that. Yeah. So
that's really cool. So, hey, you know, hopefully my goal is that people will look here, promoters will look to hire.
Yeah.
You know, so how can people get up with you? And maybe if somebody wants to work here, how can they get up with you?
They just have to hit me up and send me some. Well, I say send me some footage. A lot of times I already know guys when they hit me up, and so I have a list of guys I want to work with. You know what I mean? There's guys like I just can't bring in right now. Just
sure. Well,
pure ignorance is one.
What about promotions that you'd like to work at?
Oh, promotions I'd like to work at.
Well, no, just give me like your Twitter. Your Facebook, Twitter.
My Twitter is @RanchhandCarlson. My Instagram is Big Money Mark Carlson still, and Facebook Shawn Carlson, man.
Cool. Well, hey, man, actually, I end my podcast with giving you an opportunity to ask Poppa a question.
Oh, I get to ask you anything I want?
Yes.
All right. I have a great question for you.
Let me tell you what Miles asked me.
Yes.
Miles asked me, who do I love better, him or Ty?
Oh, that was a great one. And that almost took what I wanted to do. So let me ask this. If, you ready for this one? If there is a fire, right? Yeah. And there's Ty and there's a dog. And you don't know the dog at all. How long does it take you to save the dog and let Ty burn?
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. I know you love Ty.
I was thinking how to answer that.
No, how do you put up with Ty? Because he doesn't shut up sometimes.
He doesn't. Luckily, I'm like you. I get up early. I'm up and gone usually before he gets up. And I see him maybe 2 hours a day, you know, because he gets home at 7.
Yeah.
I'm at bed by 9.
You're out.
So, hey, I can deal with him for 2 hours a day.
Hell yeah.
But hey, Shawn, I really appreciate it.
No, man, I appreciate it.
That was a great interview.
Thank you.
That was very.
Thank you. It feels good to get that kind of stuff off my chest. So
yeah, man,
I appreciate it.
That was deep, and I hope people reach out to you, man. And hey, come see 1CW.
Get a definitely.
Chance. This is definitely the hottest thing in Delaware.
Yeah, and you can see Ty get beat up.
You get
all the time.
Ty get beat up
by Chris Wilde tonight.
Absolutely. Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, bud.
Take care.